Hey people, today's February 26th, 2022. It's about 6:21 p.m. here in Indiana. I'm Chris Lucas, and I'm just doing a real quick video today because I got to go to work in about 10 minutes. And I've just been super busy, but I want to get my thoughts out about what's going on because I'm really concerned that the same people who who acknowledge this whole COVID thing for being this global grab for power that they don't think it has anything to do with health concerns. Um, okay, you got to think people like Justin Trudeau are now the same people you're protesting who are taking your freedoms away. Do you really believe that in Ukraine that they are supporting that they're supporting Ukraine because they care about freedom and care about helping people and doing good? Because why is your country and your people losing its jobs, having their livelihoods taken away, being forced to take an injection that you're not convinced works or is safe? So you're not taking this injection. And you're losing your jobs, you're losing all your liberties, you're losing all your freedoms because of it. And now he's basically, you know, uh, um, declaring almost with this Emergencies Act that he invoked on you. He's declaring an act almost like your occupiers, like people that are trying to overthrow the government, and in a certain way that's how he's looking at you. But yet but now so many of the same people that are like, oh my gosh, he's so horrible, and now he's supporting Ukraine, and now you're suddenly like, yeah, let's go to war, let's go fight in Ukraine. And it's like it surprises me how many people have just lost their minds. And I don't have time to do a very long video, but I put a few articles like this linked to this video in the description box for you to kind of read through. Some of these you might have to click on well, okay, so it does have like some of the English version of it. So there's also okay, let me see if I can find.
At first, NATO fucks up in Iraq.
This video. Sorry about the language. I don't know, like I'm in such a rush. I agree with most of what this video says, though, as far as NATO prepares for World War III, as Putin threatens mushroom clouds. There's a lot about this video I agree with. I don't have time to go into any part that I disagree with, but the main video that I wanted to show you was this Jimmy Dore video. I put a link in the description. It's called "Media Lies About Ukraine, Russia Debunked." I think he did one of the most awesome jobs I've seen out of all the videos I've been watching. So I really recommend people to watch that. But don't listen to your media and automatically think, oh, Russia's the bad guy, because you've been brought up years and years and years of Russia propaganda, Rocky movies, all these like Red Dawn Rising movies, and all these other movies, where it's like, anti-Russia, Russia's horrible. I did other videos in the past where, I talked about the history of Russia helping out the North during the American Civil War, or perhaps the North would have never won the Civil War had it not been for Russia's help in stopping the European countries from getting involved. So, I just, ask you people to please, use your brains a little bit and think about when they're trying to push you to support Ukraine and support going to war with Russia. And, oh my gosh, Russia's a commies and let's go kill them. Think about what these people who are pushing this war, Biden, Trudeau, Boris Johnson, do they really seem like people that care about freedom? And you're going to jump to go on their side, jump to believe what they say, jump to get involved in all this. I'm just saying, I think we should stay out. But I'll go into that later. I'll get into more details later, but I just felt like it was really important to at least share a couple of articles, a couple of videos, put them in my show notes. I just do not have time to go into it all. I see a couple of people comment. I'll talk about that real quick. Oh, Plateau says, good afternoon, Chris. all our Roman wars. Yes, and that's one thing I got in a fight with one of my state representatives here in Indiana about. Well, one of them won't respond. One of them did respond when I said I'll never donate to you again, because I actually did donate to him last election. He's a pretty good guy, but and the whole thing was he wasn't pounding the war drum. It's kind of like he walked by the war drum and I just flew off like he was like, like he was starting to beat it, And I was just like, oh, that's just too much. You walked by it. Don't even walk by that war drum or I'll just go ballistic on you and I'll treat you like you're one of the most evil enemies of the United States. Don't even walk by that war drum. This is a war we need to stay out of. When I can take and talk on the internet freely, like I used to be able to, without my videos getting taken down, when I got free speech and everything, then maybe you guys can start talking about, a war in some other land. But right now, when we're losing freedoms here, I don't want to hear about wars. Not when. And then it's like, especially when it's the people who are taking away our freedoms are the ones going, let's go to war. It's like, maybe they don't have our best interests at heart. They sure didn't have them for the past 2 years. And I hope people get that in their minds at least. But maybe you're going crazy. I mean, a lot of you are the same people that go, yeah, let's go to war in Ukraine. But and then you're like cheering for Trump, even though he kept renewing the lockdown orders and he developed the vaccine and he pushes the vaccine and he says Sweden was doing the right thing and you still cheer for him. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe you're really that nuts. It's like you just don't care. Media feeds you anything and you believe it. But I'm just, asking you and begging you, please kind of think about this. Use some reasoning. But yeah, it's all Roman wars. And I mentioned that to my state rep. And I said, here's some books you should read. Rome's Responsibility for the Assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Behind the Dictators by Leo Leham, written in 1942, I believe. That book's for free on the internet. Also, if you search for it, Rome's Responsibility for the Assassination of Abraham Lincoln was by Brigadier General Thomas Harris. You can find that on Google Books for free. And I'll post that when I make my second video. When I get back from work, I'll make that a second video talking about all that and post that in the show notes. But and I said, look, I just have a real hard trouble. I have a lot of trouble believing that Russia's this big enemy when in the past, they helped out the U.S. with all this other stuff, but now they're the enemy. And I think when people really start digging into it and looking into it and check out these, just check out that Jimmy Dore video at the very least. And then if that makes your brain think a little bit more, check out some of those articles I wrote. I mean, not that I wrote, that I found and that I put in the info box too. Anyway, Plasso Platou says countries don't exist; they're all run by Rome. Yeah, I mean, there's part of me that wonders if Russia might be a little bit more like that's not doing it. And I know people say, oh, well, Putin talked about being one of the World Economic Forum leaders. And there's part of me that wonders, did Putin get involved with that a little bit just so he can see how they think? So was he fronting like he was going to be part of them and he learns about them that way? And I mean, I'm not saying that's what he did. I'm just, I'm throwing that possibility out there because I don't know these things for sure. The one thing I do know for sure is I sure don't think we should be getting involved in Ukraine because let's say Putin, I know that theory exists out there that Putin is one of the World Economic Forum leaders, but so is Biden, so is Trudeau, and that would mean they're all playing like some kind of game with us, some manipulative game. And guess what? We still shouldn't be going to war for Ukraine if that's the case, if they're all behind wanting us to go to war, including Putin. Or maybe Putin actually is some sort of independent actor that's not trying to be absorbed into all this global government. Maybe there is a slight pushback by Putin that's actually real. But either case, whether you believe he's part of the World Economic Forum or whether you believe he's an independent actor trying to push back, but it's definitely not the third option, which is, oh, he's a scary boogeyman and we need to all unite. And this is, And like even Biden's got it right, even Trudeau's got it right, and he really is a boogeyman, and we need to go fight him. That third option, that I don't believe that one. I don't believe that one bit. And even if that is true, let's say option number 3 is true, and he really is so evil, and oh my gosh, he's going to end democracy in Europe, and that's what people are trying to say, and we all need to unite. To me, it still sounds like we're all in this together. That whole COVID lie, that whole COVID slogan, and let's get freedom in our own countries before we start blowing up other countries and sending our sons to die for other wars when we don't even have freedom here. And are we really setting up freedom there? Even if we were to send our sons to die over there, are we really setting up freedom over there? I mean, where's the guarantee of that? Because from what I understand, ever since 2014, when the U.S. backed the overthrow of the elected Russian president, I mean, I don't really think that guy was much better. Wasn't he that Poroshenko part of Svoboda? And isn't Svoboda part of the like a Nazi far right group, right? Or at least a neo-Nazi group. I mean, they sure had like a lot of. Let's see here. Let me see if I can bring that up real fast. I think it's Poroshenko. Nazi. Get some images up here. I could have swore that there was like a lot of Nazi connection. I'll do a better job later. Like I said, this is a video I'm trying to put together in 10 minutes. Like I put all these show notes together in 5 minutes about things I've been looking at all day, and I just been super busy working almost 70 hours a week, and it was my son's birthday yesterday, and but anyway. I don't know, man. It's I know this guy seems to have ties to like some far right. I mean, I won't say far right. I hate the far right and left and all that other stuff. It's too bad they don't have a better image of that. But anyway, I dropped some things that I like people to take a look at. Let me read the last couple of comments. Good day, Chris. Western leadership is using the Emergency War Power Act to seize citizens' right and wealth. The Pope and the Jesuits, the Great Reset will enslave the world to the Pope's government. I agree with that. Crimea, no one acted. Hong Kong, no one acted. Ukraine is almost on the brink of being destroyed, a democracy. So are we letting him invade to get it free? What stops China with Taiwan then? Oh, so you actually think that David thinks that I wish I could answer your question. I wish I had time to answer that one, because I just do not think what's happening in Ukraine, like people really understand what's going on there. Oh, let me find this one. Okay, so I'm just going to skip to this part of this article I put in the show notes. Key participating events are left out of the narrative. For example, and this article was written in May 20, I think it was May 12th or May 22nd, 2014. So anyway, it says key participating events are left out of the narrative. For example, Western media barely covered a May 2nd, 2014 fire in the Black Sea report of the city of Odessa, where dozens of pro-Russian separatists were burned alive after they barricaded themselves in a government building to escape a violent Ukrainian mob. Ukrainian nationalists surrounded the building, saying the Ukrainian national anthem and chanted the equivalent of "Burn Russians, burn," while the building went up in flames. Even a more egregious failure of American mainstream media coverage in Ukraine came during the February 2014 anti-government demonstrations in Ukraine's capital of Kyiv, when sniper fire killed nearly 100 Ukrainians. Western media repeatedly stated as fact that the shots came from the forces of then Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych, who had tilted toward Russia. Outrage over the deaths fueled calls for Yanukovych's head, and on February 21, he fled the capital, eventually ending up in southern Russia, where he remains in exile. But virtually ignored by the American mainstream media was a bombshell allegation by Estonian Foreign Minister Urmas Paet. On February 26, 2014, Paet, no friend of Russia's, said in an intercepted and later authenticated phone call, there is now stronger and stronger understanding that behind the snipers, it was not Yanukovych, but it was someone from the new coalition. What Paet called the new coalition is essentially the Western-leaning Ukrainian government that succeeded Yanukovych. So, and that was Poroshenko, and Poroshenko, which has ties to basically Svoboda, which is that a Nazi group. But even if you want to say, okay, Putin's painting all this in a way it defies reality and whatever, they were still basically oppressing Russian-speaking people there, which is 1/3 of the population is Russian-speaking, and there's definitely violence towards them. There's definitely oppression towards them. And for 8 years, Russia has complained about it, and the West has done nothing. And the rest of the West has done, especially America, has done nothing but inflame it more, in my opinion. So, like I said, I can't get into really real detail. I got to get to work in about 3 minutes. So, but I don't think they're really invading. See, David says, or Divide says, there's a time to stop them. Otherwise, anyone can invade and have little or nothing repercussion, and they prepare funds to sustain their economy. Well, here's the thing. It's like you're telling me that these tyrants that are taking away our freedom, like Trudeau, Putin, Boris Johnson, are you telling me that these tyrants actually care about the freedom of another country, but yet we don't have freedom? Like what's all this COVID stuff going on? It's like a lot of people can't even take their kids to a museum, because we're not vaccinated and all that. And we sat here and worked the whole pandemic. Me personally, I worked the whole pandemic. I'm an essential worker. So I get to slave for all these people that got to stay home and get like $600 to $900 checks from the government. Meanwhile, I'm working the whole pandemic. I come home, I can't even take my kids anywhere because you want to shut everything down. Can't even go to a dental appointment. So people got to sit there and sit in pain for months because guess what? They close the dentist offices down and things like that. It's like, and you might be an essential worker. And it's like, look, you guys want to close it, make me a slave, and then I can't even get to a dentist. And now you're telling me, but no, these sweet people like Biden, Boris Johnson, Trudeau, all these sweet people, Trump and all this that might be saying, oh, we need to go do something to help Ukraine. We can't let Russia take away freedom. Who's taking away freedom? Do you feel freer in the United States and Canada or in Europe right now? Do you feel freer? And so what's Russia going to do? What could Russia possibly do that's worse? I mean, we're already losing freedom. I can't even speak in America. I mean, this show I'm doing right now on YouTube might get banned. I'm doing it on Facebook. It might get banned. I've already been banned several times, over 50 times. I can't even ask a definition of I go, what's herd immunity? I had a video that all I said was, what is herd immunity? Can someone please explain it to me? And I showed them the current CDC definition and the CDC definition July of 2020 before they changed it, which they changed it all August 2020 under Trump's CDC director that he put into office. And that's all I said. I said, can someone now explain to me the definition of herd immunity? Bam, my video gets deleted. I can't even talk. I can't even ask. It's like, no, you can't even ask questions. So I live but yet for some reason people think, oh, but we should go to Ukraine. Putin, Biden and Trudeau and Boris Johnson and Trump, they're all right. We should go to Ukraine and fight and let our sons die in this war. Would you send your son to die in that war? I actually think you're an idiot. I mean, if this is a war that you would send your own son to go die in, and you're saying it's worth sacrificing my own son, I would love to know, like, why you believe sending your own son to this war makes so much sense. Like write it in my comment section on YouTube if this video stays up, and I'll read it. I would love to read like why you would send your son to go die in this war, like with Ukraine, fighting for their freedom. Bjorn Smith says Justin Trudeau in Canada is a preview of total popish government leader enslaving its people to New World Order Pope government. Same thing in Australia. Protestant nations are the first to fall. Yeah, because guess what? With these COVID mandates, since you have the Pope saying, oh, it's good to go get it, and that's your Holy Father, I'm betting you most Catholics would go along with it, because most people, guess what? They're weak anyway. They're gonna do like the easy thing. That's the tendency to most people. Oh, I don't want to resist. And so, and a Catholic, when your own Holy Father is telling you, which is like saying he's God, Holy Father, and when your own like God is telling you, hey, it's okay, you can go get it. But the Protestants that don't believe Holy Father, that got a little bit more, morals. I'm not saying they do, because even a lot of them will even give in and do the easy thing. But there's less Protestants that are going to give in. But what that's going to do is that's going to tilt all your armies in the world of having mostly Catholics in it, or mostly people that will go along with what the Pope says. Even if you're not Catholic, you're still going along with what the Pope says, And if you're going to go along with them on this, you're going to go along with them on global warming. See, it doesn't matter if you're a liberal that hates the Catholic or says you hate Christianity and the Catholic Church. The Pope is pushing global warming, which you like. So you're going to go ahead and go along with them. It's like, yeah, I might think your church is garbage, but you're pushing global warming, open borders, gun control. Yeah, I'll go along. So it's going to be the Protestants that are actually resisting this New World Order that are going to get pushed out of everything. And then all you're going to have left is the people that's going to go along with the Pope. If it's not Catholics, it's going to be people that agree with the Catholic agenda, and they're going to be the only ones left. Divide says, if Donbass was Putin's goal, invade it and stop at it. But no, he's bombarding everything in Ukraine. It's a genocide, simple as that. No, I really disagree with that, because these people just keep pushing at it. They don't stop. It's just like Canada. They kept interfering in our government. We should have declared war on them. During the American Civil War, when we found out Canada was helping the South and working with the Vatican to assassinate our own president, we should have declared war on Canada. In fact, if I ever was to become president, that'd be one place I'm looking to declare war on, is Canada. Because you know what? The Monroe Doctrine would be enforced under me. And I'd be like, well, if you're plotting something, Canada, I'm coming to get you. We're coming to get you. We're putting a stop at that. We're going to protect ourselves, because we're not going to allow interests of a foreign nation to become a threat that's right across our border. You ain't doing that. Because it was Canada's Secret Service helping the South during the Civil War. Kill our president, all conspiring with the Pope. That's in Rome's responsibility for the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, written by a brigadier general that oversaw the trial of the co-conspirators behind the assassination. He said there was enough evidence to convict the Pope. Dave Divide says, I'm from Italy. I'm not vaccinated, but got COVID, and I'm fine with the rules. We even have Super Green Pass, which is much tighter than the world. Still, Ukraine comes first. it's close to home. It's a democracy. As my country, human rights are being stepped on. So yes, there's pretty nice reasons to go to war against Megalmatic without nukes, though. Hopefully, but see that that was the thing about Putin is he's worried. The United States is setting up like those what's it like bioweapons labs, I believe, in Ukraine. I found an article on it. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I'm kind of leaving out of this video because they just don't have time to include it. But there's a lot more going on in Ukraine than what people think, and it's the fact that they didn't want no more countries added in NATO. United States, and they weren't supposed to push any further west, but they keep interfering in the elections. They won't let free elections happen. And then the people that the United States helps get into power, they oppress the Russian-speaking people there. So it's not really a free place like you think. Like, I mean, I don't believe that. I don't know, man. There's two sides to the story. I mean, there, a couple of these articles I got, they're not 100% like pro-Russian, but they're also talking about how the United States had a lot of, it's a lot of the United States' fault that this even got to there. So, I mean, like these articles are pretty balanced, and they're, in my opinion, they're pretty balanced. They're not one-sided articles I posted, and a lot of it's talking, it's like they're not saying Russia's perfect, but they're also pointing out that the United States definitely had a hand in pushing it to this point. So anyway, that's going to be my show. I got to get to work. I'm going to do a much better video later. I just basically want to get these articles and videos to people's attention, and that's it.